Bedroom tonight. Come on, get ready. The show is right with Tonia Grady.
Social of celebrities, beauty, health, and fitness. Show us how to still cool. Can I get a witness? Inside the chats with the movers and shakers of ATL. Shout it, yeah.
Bedroom tonight.
Come on, let's go.
The show is right.
It's a variety talk show.
She's about to take control. Tonia Grady is your host. Yeah. It's yeah.
Red Room Tonight. Rewind.
What's up, New York? I'm Tonia Grady, host of the Red Room Tonight Rewind. Thank you for tuning into the show. For all of you who are not familiar with the history of the show, let me just fill you in. Red Room Tonight Rewind is basically a remix of a show that I had in Atlanta over 15 plus years ago. If it was hot and happening in Atlanta, you better believe I was there to cover it. So I had all of this great footage, and I figured, you know what? Let me share this footage with my New York family. Ergo, that's where the new show comes from, Red Room Tonight Rewind, because basically I'm just rewinding the tape. On today's show, we're going to catch up and go back in history and check out my man, Tyler Perry. I am so very proud of my dude, Tyler Perry. To say that he is doing big things would be an understatement. Tyler Perry is making big moves. Okay, let's talk about the strategic deal that he did with Oprah Winfrey for OWN. Oh my God, that's historic. Let's just say two powerhouses coming together. You can't lose with that combination. Tyler Perry's Have and Have-Nots and Love Thy Neighbor on OWN are both doing excellent. So kudos for you, Tyler Perry, for making that move. And the AJC is also reporting that Tyler Perry is in talks to buy a portion of McPherson Army Base down in Atlanta, with the price tag being upward of $30 million. That is so cool, Tyler. I hope it all goes through. Now, let me tell you guys a little story. I want to kind of put you in the mix. Me and Tyler Perry go way back. Tyler lived in Atlanta while I lived down in Atlanta, and we went to the same church. We shared the same bishop, Bishop James Morton. I knew Tyler was struggling. He had the plays. He would come to the church and he would beg us to come out and support the plays. And truth be told, not a lot of people came to support him. I did. I went out to support him. I went to the first play that he did. And then I also thought, you know what? I have this television show, The Red Room Tonight. I said, let me invite Tyler Perry on the show. I invited him on the show. We actually did the interview in my pastor's study. How cool is that? Now, while we're doing this interview, that's the interview that you're going to see in a moment. But while we're doing this interview, you know, we took a little break and I told Tyler Perry, I said, Tyler, you're going to do big things. I mean, astronomical things. I said, don't forget me. I said, when you get on Oprah's couch, don't forget about little old Tonya, the person that's giving you your first television interview. And he promised me. He said, no, Tonya, I wouldn't forget about you. He said, but do you really see all that for me? He said, I don't think it'll be that big. I said, Tyler, you're going to do big things. He could not believe that I was prophesizing this. And I don't know why, but I saw it just as clear as day. And here we go. He has not only been on Oprah's couch many times, he's best friends with Oprah. So did I call it or did I call it? Now, the only thing that needs to happen now is Tyler Perry needs to call your girl. What happened, Tyler? You were supposed to come back and get me. What happened? Call your girl. All right, let's go back. Let's take a look at the tape. Hello, I'm your host, Tonia Grady, and thank you for joining us in the Red Room. Today we find out how one man has turned homelessness, child abuse, and his frustrations with the world, and sometimes thoughts of suicide, into the secret ingredients for a hit play. Yes, I'm talking about the play, I Know I've Been Changed. And if you've been fortunate, you've either laughed, cried, or been touched in one way or another by writer, producer, director, Mr. Tyler Perry.
Shall it not do? Or have he spoken it? Shall it not make it good? Just because God said it. Hallelujah. That's enough for me.
Please Please welcome Mr. Tyler Perry.
How you doing?
Hi, Tyler.
I'm good.
You doing good?
Yeah, how are you?
I'm good. Great to have you in the bedroom.
Oh, thank you. It's my pleasure.
Oh, good. So tell me, did you really think this play would be so successful? I Know I've Been Changed.
You mean from its inception when I was
Exactly,
writing it?
when
No,
you were writing
not
it.
at all. I started off writing it as a series of letters to myself, things that I had been through, and instead of using my own name, I used different characters' name because if somebody found it, I didn't want them to know that I had been through this stuff. So in that, a friend of mine did find it. He's like, man, this is a great play.
Really?
And that's how I Know I've Been Changed came to be, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is so amazing. Now, when you were going through these trials and tribulations, I mean, did you see any light at the end of the tunnel?
I've always, for as long as I can remember, have had a relationship with God in everything. I remember being like 9 and 10 years old and praying and believing that. Well, even earlier than that, I'll tell you the story really quickly. I was like 6 years old, and I thought that people lived in the television, like Gilligan's Island, and these people lived in the television. So I remember praying and asking God to send me some little people to take care of because I wanted to show them love and the things that I didn't feel like I was getting. And it seems like a really crazy thing, and you know that God can never do that, but he actually answered the prayer because I had a neighbor across the street who moved out, and when she was moving out, she said, hey, here, take care of my birds for me, 2 parakeets.
Really? Okay.
That talked, and I thought that was just the world. So for as long as I could remember, there's always been hope, and there's always been God in my life.
Okay, so let's go back. And how did you end up homeless? How did all of that?
It's all because of the play. Every time I would have an opportunity to do this show, I would go to my boss. I'd be working at the time. I'd say, okay, I need to take some time off to do the play. And they would say no. I was like, okay, well, I quit. There wasn't a choice, because when you're being led to do something, no matter what the price, you're going to pay for it, and you'll pay to have it done. So I would go out, do the show, know that God was telling me to do the show. Hearing him just as clear saying, go do this, do this, do this. And I would do it, not make any money, and have everything I had invested into it, the phone bill, the light bill, the car payment, the rent, and everything.
That's how it goes.
That's how it goes.
Everything into
When
it.
you have a dream and a vision, and I share that with you, when you have a dream and a vision, you soak everything you have into it. You work really, really hard, especially if you know you're led to do it. The hard part of it, the hardest thing for me was going through it and not hearing from God, because this happened like 5 times. 4 cars repossessed, put out of every apartment I had ever been in. Knowing that God told you to do it, and now you're in this situation, and you're saying, where are you?
Exactly.
Where are you? Why aren't you saying anything to me? You told me to do this. And he wouldn't say a word to me, and it was the most frustrating thing. Now looking back on it, I know what he was doing. He was proving me to make sure that I could handle it, and that I would never forsake him.
Exactly.
And that I would totally believe in everything that he's saying and telling me to do.
Definitely, because you would have to know it was him when you go from being homeless to now being...
It hadn't even been 2 years.
I know, that's amazing.
Hasn't even been 2 years from being homeless to building a 6-acre estate, totally debt-free. It's amazing. It's
God
amazing.
Is good.
Yeah.
Definitely. Wow.
And only a God can do that.
I know.
What man can? No man can do that. Yeah.
Oh, man. He is so good. Well, that is so amazing, and I'm happy for you because you've actually, made your dream come true.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't get that. You really have to work hard. Not too many people actually see their dreams materialize.
That's what I find. If you're willing to put the time in it and the energy, your gift will always make room for you. I don't care how crowded. Because I was really disgusted with this market gospel plays because it was so saturated with a bunch of foolishness that I think. Still today, I from time to time I'll have time to see a show and be very, very disappointed that there are 1,000 people in their audience who spent $20 or $30 to come in and see this, and they're leaving with nothing. I don't think that's the way it should be. And the market was so saturated, I thought, how am I ever going to get in here, and how am I ever going to make a name with all of this going on? But again, that situation.
Wow. And you know what was amazing to me, because I took my mom and my aunt to see the play, and I told you this, but it was a wonderful play, and I left with something, and my mother and my aunt, they both said the same thing. They said, wow, that was a really moving play. And I told him, I said, well, the young man who actually wrote that play goes to my church.
Is that, yeah, we're here now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Look at us now. But
Yeah.
That's good, but the characters were good, and it was real life stories and real issues.
Yeah.
And I think that's what people need to hear.
Yeah, that's what I always want to do. Whenever I'm doing something, I want it to be real life, real stories, real issues that people can identify with and understand. You know, there are so many things that we go through in life, and we have no mirror to look into, or no other person to kind of tell us which way we need to go. When we look at television, most of the shows that are dramas and deal with anything major are not us. It's not our situations. But to come and see a play and see this with people that you recognize, like the character that I played, Mr. Joe. Everybody knows Mr. Joe from around the way in the neighborhood. You know, everybody has an uncle like that or a cousin. These are people you identify with, so it's your own life being on screen. So it's a wonderful thing.
So which character was closest to your life?
They all are. They all are.
Really?
They all are very much, because from Mary's burying her everything into her God, to Sam's confusion about life, to the Mitch beating his wife, you know, just all. I know the rage of. I've never been in those situations, but I know the rage of those people. I know their pains, and they all came out of me. So that's how I understand them so well.
Okay, that's good. So tell me some of the stars that are in the play.
Well, Ann Nesby, LaShawn Pace toured with us last year. Ann Nesby, Latrice Pace, LaShawn's sister, Quan Howell, and Carl Pertow from The Sounds of Blackness. Ann Nesby's daughter, her name is Jamesia. She had an album out and did something on the Jason's Lyric Project.
Yeah, okay.
She is bringing the house down every night. And Marie Graham, who is Ann Nesby's sister, who is also from The Sounds of Blackness. So it's just a wonderful cast. We got a great cast now, and the show is bigger and better than ever. New set, new lights, new sound. It's over the top.
Okay, I have to see it again.
Yeah,
I saw it over. It had to be about a year and a half ago.
Yeah, yeah, and it's leaps and bounds since then.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, and where is it now? What city?
We will be opening in Philadelphia on the 14th of September, and we'll be there for 2 weeks. And then we're on tour through November. That show, I'm actually leaving the show to go do the new show, which is called I Can Do Bad All By Myself, which stars Kelly Price and the family, Kirk Franklin's family.
Okay, now did the name change? Because I thought it was supposed
Dear
to be
God,
Dear
are
God.
all men dogs?
Okay.
Yeah. But you know what, I'm finding that.
I did my homework.
Yeah, you did, right? With that title, a lot of guys, they're like, man, what you doing? What's up with this title? You know, so they feel like I'm, you know, going in that direction when it's not it's not that at all. So the title is the longest title in history. The title is Dear God, are all men dogs? And then subtext is I can do bad all by myself.
Okay.
But it's not male bashing or anything like that. It really answers the questions. They're not. And there are 2 guys in this show who are really good guys who are just having so much trouble getting women to understand that.
Well, I have a problem understanding men myself, and I'm not going to take the interview a different direction.
I think you need to see the play.
Okay, when is the play coming out?
It starts September 28th. We open in Chicago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
September 28th.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. That is so good.
I think the women are going to love this show because there's a guy and there's a character, his name is Bobby, who is extremely romantic, and he is everything that I think a woman would want. He's a guy who's had some issues and problems, got real stories behind him, but he's also a very, very loving, caring, sensitive man, and I think they're going to appreciate him.
Okay, and are you in this particular play?
Yes, I am. I play a 68-year-old woman named Medea.
Oh, 68-year-old woman. Oh.
Yeah, we're doing what Eddie Murphy did in The Nutty Professor. I've got the fat suit made and the latex and everything, so it's going to be interesting. Me being 6'6", it's going to be real interesting. But I think we're going to work it out.
Okay, so what role is Kelly Price playing?
Kelly Price plays the role of Lizzie, who is the aunt of one of the main characters in the show, and she's having this struggle with her best friend who ended up sleeping with her husband. Okay. So she sings Friend of Mine at the close of the first act, and
that's going to bring the house down.
Just like Ann Nesby does with I'm Still Wearing Your Name,
exactly.
Kelly doing Friend of Mine. Yeah, it's powerful. It's really strong.
Is that the little secret, I guess?
No, there are several. There are several. I like stories that have different sub-stories within them. So there's several different sub-stories. And there's, just like in I Know I've Been Changed, there's for those of you who saw it, there's the, thing that really that catches you off guard. This one has one of those kind of hooks too that is major.
What's going on, man? Look here, check this out. I go by the name of Chris Lover, aka Ludacris. We represent Hot 97.5, as you can see. Check this out. We represent with Tonya, and it's the green room. I think it's the green room.
No, man. No, it's the blue room, man.
No, it's the red room.
Yeah.
With that Grady baby herself.
The red room.
Tonia Grady.
You know what I'm saying? Grady, baby. So we represent A-Town, baby, and that's what I'm talking about. Red room. How you love it?
That's right.
Hot 97.5.
Show in no country. Yeah.
What's up, y'all? It's Sadie Entertainer. I got you inside the hot spot, inside the red room with my girl Tonya. All right?
One of my two sons, they slept in the other one. I left the house as quiet as I could, trying not to wake my 9-year-old, my 4-year-old, so I tipped out real easy. I remember it was real cold outside, so I went back in the house and got my coat and I turned up the gas heater. I think I turned it up too high because my apartment caught on fire. My neighbor heard my 9-year-old screaming and he ran in and got him, and he didn't even see my baby in that crib. My baby burned to death. And you know the saddest part? I didn't even care. All I wanted was to keep getting high. I had to see that genie in the needle. My neighbor, he came over to where I was and he said, "The police outside and they want to talk to you." Do you know what I asked him, Mr. Joe? I said, "Can you loan me $5? I just need one more hit." I didn't even ask about my children. All I wanted was to keep getting high. I went to jail. The judge said I would be an example. And I sat in that jail and I blamed God and I cursed God when all along it was my fault. I did that. And when I realized it, I started to cry. Not for me, but for my two sons. They deserve so much better than me. And my son that lived is 29 years old. I don't know where he is. Oh God, I don't even know what it looks like.
It's all right, child. It's all right.
So you see, Mr. Joe, every time you hear me say praise the Lord, I mean it. And every time you hear me say thank you, Jesus, I mean it. And every time you see me telling somebody about Jesus, it's only because I want them to know the peace that I do.
Welcome back to the Red Room. We're talking to writer, producer, director, and actor, Mr. Tyler Perry.
So, Tyler, tell me about the new play, The Reverend Mac.
The Reverend Mac, it's funny to think about it. I got a phone call from Steve Harvey. He was doing a movie called The Reverend Mac, and he wanted to do the play version of it, so he wanted me to write the play version. And it's something, it's going to be hilarious. He plays this guy who, his father is a pastor, and his father dies, and when he dies, the scandal erupts in the church. Okay. So he ends up being voted as the pastor of this church, and he tries to get to the bottom of the scandal. But the funny thing is just all of the incredible stuff that he does as pastor. So it's pretty funny. And I was very careful not to do anything to offend the church. And he was extremely particular about not offending anybody. So it's
Steve Harvey was particular.
Steve Harvey, believe it or not, yes.
He has this mouth, and he just speaks his mind.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. But this show will have none of that.
Okay.
I mean, we've got some gospel stuff in here. We've got some straight stuff that people will enjoy. It's not going to be that kind of show.
Okay, I like Steve Harvey. He's a funny guy.
Yeah, he's
Definitely funny
very
guy.
funny.
But you know, I mean, I have to go back to this. You go from homeless 2 years ago to Steve Harvey called me up and asked me to write. I mean,
Again,
wow.
I can't take any credit for it. How can I do it? It's nothing but a God of love and a God of favor. And when you walk into a season that's yours, I don't care what is happening around you. No matter what it is or who it is, nobody can stop you. Nobody can keep you from getting to what's yours. You paid your dues.
Exactly. And what's for you is for you.
Exactly. And who can take it from you?
No one.
And no man has done this, so no man can take it away. And I wake up every morning thanking God for it. Because it's nothing, it's none of my goodness that's done this, or anything that I have, you know.
Okay, but you do have the talent, because you're still writing in the
Yeah, faith without works is there. So you've got to have the work. You've got to be able to have the substance there to make things work for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. So now, when you produce this, how do you put it all together? Do you actually do the casting and all that?
Yeah,
stuff?
it can be a tedious process, but what I've put around me are people who are extremely gifted at what they do, and it's very important to have a good team. My musical director's name is Alvin Ross. We write a lot of the songs for the shows together. He puts together the band. That's one headache off of me. Then my company manager will put together the company with the sound and lights and all this other stuff for the company side of the business side, I should say. And then I'll put together the cast, which is the company.
No.
Yeah, yeah. So it works out.
I
It works
see.
out. Yeah.
Because the cast is always good.
Yeah.
I mean,
I like working with fresh people who haven't done anything, who just have this incredible gift and zeal to want to get it right. They are so much fun. When you start working with a lot of veterans and people who have done it and have been around the block, still haven't gotten anywhere, but they've just done it.
been around the block.
Yeah, it can be difficult, but new, fresh, exciting people are really joys to work with.
Okay, so how do these people contact you if they would like to, you know?
You got me.
Put you on the spot, huh?
Well, we will be having like these shows are cast. Like the new show, the Reverend Mac, I'll be casting out of Los Angeles.
Okay.
And my 2 new shows are cast right now. So until I have a show where I need a cast, there's really nothing to offer.
Okay.
That was good. I got out of good. Yeah. Should be a politician.
Guys.
Should be a politician.
Yeah. See, I always look out for my audience.
I'm with you. I'm with you.
Always. Now, and that's coming out the spring. The Reverend Mac is coming out the spring.
It's spring of 2000. When he goes into hiatus from his show, he immediately goes out on the road with the Reverend Mac.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah.
Okay, so now I'm going to just hop on another subject. Do you feel like you have contributed to changing, I guess, the quote-unquote title, the Chitlin Circuit, to respectable theater?
Clearly. I mean, we were reviewed in the Washington Post about 4 months ago, which is unheard of for this type of show to be reviewed in the Post. I mean, the Washington Post legitimizes what you do. And the article started with, this was the most profound gospel musical that they'd ever seen, the most well-produced and best one that they'd ever seen. It actually started off, the first few paragraphs started off talking about these types of shows. So I thought they were getting ready to really go off, but then it said, I really like this one, and I was really shocked. Yeah.
Again, I will say this to you because I don't want you to think I am just giving you compliments because you're here. I'm not. I think the shows are really, really good.
I appreciate it.
I really do.
The shows. You saw Women That Are Loose?
No, I did not see that. I saw the clips of it.
Okay.
I didn't see the entire play.
Okay.
But I did see.
I know I've been changed.
Yeah,
that's my baby. That's where it started.
Okay.
Yeah.
I did.
Women That Are Loose is a great show too.
I have to see that one, but it left so fast.
Yeah, it'll be back. We're going to try to come back around again. But yeah, it's a good show.
So tell me, what was it like working with Bishop T.D. Jakes?
Bishop Jakes is a wonderful man with a wealth of knowledge. He has this incredible business sense. You will forget that he's a bishop if you're ever in his presence and watching him handle his business, because he's shrewd, he's confident, and he's very, very meticulous and on point with how he moves. It's very calculated. He's an incredible business, and I've learned a lot from him. I've learned an awful lot from him, and it's been a great thing. It's been a wonderful thing.
Wow.
Very valuable lessons that I will never forget.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, on that note, maybe you can possibly leave us some words of wisdom to someone who's out there who may be watching, who is dealing with a certain situation and they don't know exactly how they're going to overcome the situation. They may be homeless, they may be jobless. You know, you just never know. And I just want you to give us some words of wisdom, something that will inspire someone who's going through some hard times.
If I can inspire anybody to do anything, I would say there's only one God, only one Christ. There's no power in Buddha, Allah, Muhammad, or anything else. I promise you, if you try him and trust and believe him, your gift will make room for, and I don't make any apologies for saying this.
No, not at all.
Not at all, not at all. Your gift will make room for you. If you believe enough in God and in yourself and do right by him and do right by other people and run your business in as close to perfect and Christian as you can, it's amazing the things that come to pass for you.
Okay, well that's good, because I believe that. I truly believe that.
Good. I'm glad, and I'm sure that somebody else will too.
Yeah, and hopefully somebody out there.
And even if they don't, just try it. I'm telling you.
Just try one time.
One
I'm
time.
pretty sure
Yeah.
you'll be hooked.
Yeah, just like that.
That's all it takes. Okay, guys, it was a pleasure talking to Mr. Tyler Perry. Sorry that I have to let him go, but he has to go catch a plane.
Yeah.
So I'm going to let you go, and I just want to wish you continued success, and God bless you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate being here.
Thank you so much. Okay, and you guys look out for both plays. Give me the title again, because I don't want to mess it up.
I Can Do Bad All By Myself. The Reverend Mac.
Reverend Mac.
I Know I've Been Changed.
I Know I've Been Changed.
And Woman Thou Art Loose.
And Woman Thou Art Loose. Coming to a city near you.
Thanks so much for tuning into the show. Do me a favor, tell a friend. I'm Tonia Grady, and I'm signing off for this episode of the Red Room Tonight Rewind.
I'm too tight, you drive your cool. Got a spell on my set like you know voodoo. Keep A-Town hot like Honolulu. Boom, baby.
Guys, let's get connected. Follow me on Twitter at @IamGradyGirl. You can also follow me at GradyGirlModels to learn more about my modeling agency, or you can follow me at Fatherless Like Me to learn more about my book, Fatherless Like Me, Growing Up Without Dad, or my documentary, Man Up. I need a little feedback. Talk to me. Let me know. Do you like the show? Send me an email, redroomrewind@GradyGirl.com.
Red Room Tonight. Rewind.
Let it go! Let it go! Let it go!